Powered by Riverside.
Hello and welcome into TheSadFan, where we talk the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad. Wes, you are recording early with me because you're off to a wedding, and do weddings make anyone but the exes sad?
I don't know, but this is going to be interesting because I know someone there, and so her and her ex-husband are both friends with the people getting married, and so they're both coming. They've been divorced for about like 6 months now, and they both have partners now. So it's going to be interesting because like this is the first time the partners are meeting each other. And where's my popcorn?
They should do like a UFC themed like standoff before the wedding, like like before the fight, you know? So
Yeah.
like, right before they're just standing there like a stare down, like just
Right.
before, like at weigh-ins, like prior to their relationship breakup, they came in weighing such and such, and now they weigh in at damn. Someone lost weight after they broke up,
Right?
like that's awesome. What are you gonna do? Like, do you know both of them? You're friends with both?
I'm more friends with the lady because she's my friend's cousin. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the partners? Have you already met the partners?
I've met her partner. I haven't met his, so it'll
Okay.
be interesting.
All right. What do you think of her partner? Is he better than his? Than him? Sorry, you said you hadn't met his. Sorry. Is he? He doesn't listen to the show. It's fine.
They're completely different people. It's like she did a 180 on Partners.
We got 3 total views last week. It's okay. Throw him under the bus. Is he cooler? Is the new guy cooler?
I have more in common with him.
Okay. All right. So I just won't tag you on that Instagram clip.
Yeah.
Now, you have more in common with him, and I think I have more in common with the risk takers of the NFL that are starting these rookie quarterbacks. Though I understand the concept of having him sit, right? Patrick Mahomes sat for a year. Aaron Rodgers sat for multiple years, and they're both great. And Carson
Jordan
Palmer
Love sat for a couple years.
Yeah, and he played 8 games, and we don't have to get into that yet. But like we
I'm on the Love bandwagon. I'm on the Love wagon.
I am not on the Love wagon. I mean, like, he beat the Cowboys, which I loved, but I need a bigger sample size because he could turn out to just be a journeyman quarterback, you know, making it through the league.
Yeah.
And they paid him top quarterback dollar, and they didn't give him any weapons. But Caleb Williams does have weapons, and I'm not sold on Caleb Williams yet. And I know we've talked about this quite a bit, and a lot of it has to do with he reminds me so much as far as his attitude is concerned, Kyler Murray. And that is a turnoff for me in regards to quarterbacks because I do think that's the thing that stunted Kyler Murray's quarterback growth because that guy is so exciting to watch, right? He's so exciting to watch. And he's 5'6", and he's so much fun.
He's
quarterback.
not 5'6".
I mean, he looks like 5'6". If you've ever played Madden with Kyler Murray, you feel like he's about 4'11". But he has a cannon. He has a cannon, and I think Caleb Williams his arm is overrated. I don't think he has the arm strength that a lot of people want us to perceive. So why do you think a lot of analysts want us to fall in love?
I watched him against Oregon, and he's really good. I mean, I'm still not sold on how it's going to translate to the NFL, especially being in a crappy Bears team, but I'm still not sold. I mean, but I'm also not as pessimistic as you.
Yeah, you said you watched him play against Oregon. How'd that game go for him?
Well, his defense was absolutely garbage. It was a nonstop shootout.
Okay.
Like constant, like some of the throws he made reminded me of Patrick Mahomes, like running this way and throws across his body. And like, you're like, how did he even see him? He was looking that way. The dude was that way. Like,
bad decision making. Understood.
No, good decision making.
Quarterback never throws across his body. Kids watching this show,
tell that to Patrick.
Do not. And you're not Patrick Mahomes if you're watching the show.
Yeah,
okay?
but Caleb Williams is a professional quarterback. Okay.
Now, if you're right, I mean, their college career had fairly similar trajectory because I think the most games that Patrick Mahomes ever won at Texas Tech was 9.
Yeah,
I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, he was really good, but nobody thought he was going to be the next Tom Brady.
I don't. He's okay. Calm down. You know what my feelings on Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not even the next Tom Brady. Okay, like he's the best winner we've ever seen, but he is not the most physically gifted quarterback I've ever seen. He wins football games.
I mean, I agree with that, and we've made that point several times on the show.
Yeah, because he's not. Like, I'm sorry. Like, great winner. I would take Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady in their eras. As far as like, you need to pick a quarterback, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
But Tom Brady had longer longevity.
Yeah, and he's also not immunized. But but I would still take Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is the better QB. And the only reason that Tom Brady had better longevity is because he didn't have the God tendon break in his ankle. It could happen to anybody. Okay, and he also went out for a year. Remember when Bernard Pollard took out his knee?
His ACL, I remember that. I was celebrating.
Yeah. And we got to see Matt Castle. What did he go, 11-5? I think.
Yeah, and then he was a huge hot shot, and he got picked up by the Chiefs, and never did anything from there on.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah,
but as far as well, I like that you took it to the Patriots because we're going to talk a little bit more about Caleb Williams. I'm sure. I want to kind of figure out where these. Oh my God, are we going to do a ranking show? I've tried so hard to avoid this, but we might have to do a rookie quarterback ranking show. You brought up the Patriots, and they look like they have no idea what they're doing. And I'm pulling for Gerard Mayo. I think Gerard Mayo was a great linebacker in the NFL, and I think he could be a great head coach. I think linebackers end up making really good head coaches because they have to read the offense. They have to understand what's going on, and they watch a ton of film. But what does he do? What are we doing with Jacoby Brissett? He had his shot in Indianapolis, and I didn't think he was good before he went to Indianapolis. Why do people keep taking a shot on Jacoby Brissett, and why not just start Drake May?
I'm not there in the practice, so I don't really know. Maybe he sucks. I don't know.
Are you not there in the practice? Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, okay.
I don't know if you know this. Wes takes a supersonic jet every single day to New England so he could be at the practice with New England.
Yes.
No, of course. But hey, what are we doing?
He's a rookie.
You know what this reminds me of, Wes?
Sorry, he's not like balling out like Bo Nix, okay?
Okay, we're gonna get to Bo Nix too. You're jumping the gun. But you know what this reminds me of is John Kitna starting over Carson Palmer. Not a soul on this earth thought John Kitna was more talented or better than Carson Palmer. But he got the start over Carson Palmer.
You're getting into territory that I'm not too familiar with. How many games did he start over Carson Palmer?
You know why? A whole season. You know why you're not familiar with it? Because it's damn John Kitna. Who is John Kitna? I mean, I'm a freak. Like, I'm a freak.
I've heard that name, but I don't remember anything about him.
Yeah, he also, I think he was the starting quarterback of the 0-16 Lions team. I believe that to be true. The same team that Dan Orlovsky ran out of the back of the end zone. I believe they started off with John Kitna at quarterback.
All right, well, so, you learn something new every day.
You know what I remember?
Thanks, Mr. Encyclopedia.
I'm not trying to body shame anyone, but I remember looking at John Kitna's face, and I was young. But I remember looking at John Kitna's face and like his NFL picture and be like, he looks like an oversized baby. His face looks like an oversized baby.
He looks like a thumb.
All right, but you did bring up Bo Nix. So out of respect for you and Bo Nix, I'm going to tell you what I think of Bo Nix. So you have a favorite bar in Seattle? Like a
Bo
bar
Nix
really
has been balling out, and he's been named the starting quarterback of the Broncos.
I'm aware of what the news says.
I'm glad you're aware.
Do you have a favorite bar in Seattle that you like to go to?
Not anymore. I'm getting old. I like to drink at home. I like to drink at parties still.
Okay.
Bars are too expensive now.
Everything's too expensive now. It's ridiculous. Like,
I don't want to spend $18 on a margarita.
No, we went to London for a day, and if you combine the tubes, because it's so convenient, London, that the tubes will take your credit card once, but then when you go to the other side, it doesn't take your credit card, and then they charge you a service fee for no stop. So yeah, it's really convenient of you. Real smooth. Like, good job.
Right.
Make me pay out 2 different credit cards and be like, I don't know what happened. He only took 1 trip. Like, lying ass. Anyway, like, I had to start somewhere, idiots. But I think we ended up spending like $500 on one night in London, and I'm like, this is getting too much. Like, this is too expensive. Like, yeah, right? Like, it's too much. So I'm with you. But Bo Nix, back to Bo Nix. the Oregon Auburn product that wasn't any good, gets to Oregon. He's okay. Final season. Has a really, really solid season.
He
under
was
Dan Lanning.
pretty good in his second to last, in his penultimate season. Okay?
Sure, whatever. Oregon fan. But it's like Bo Nix is that quarterback, right? And it's like that bar. You know the bar, you know your favorite beer. And your friends make you go out to a new bar, and you're like, dang, I have this one beer I really like, and they don't have it at this bar. So you got to settle for a beer that's just okay, doesn't taste great, doesn't pour the same, doesn't hit that crisp vibe you're looking for out of your favorite beer. That's Bo Nix as a quarterback in the NFL. He's not going to hit the spot.
Bo Nix is my favorite beer. Your analogy is stupid, and we are all dumber for having listened to it.
Calm down, Happy. But not necessarily Happy. Sorry, Billy. Billy.
Nothing in your incoherent rambling thoughts made any sense.
But it did make sense because Bo Nix is just settling for Bo Nix. They're not.
Bo Nix is great. Bo Nix is great. Yes. He's better than most of these rookies. Yes. He looks really good. Is
this a case of when LeBron tweeted out, wow, watching the NBA, and Bronny's better than most of these MFers on the court right now. And then
you know what's happening here?
Bronny on the court, and he's
happening?
Is this what this is?
You're feeling threatened by the Broncos because they're in your division.
Never once felt threatened by the Broncos.
And you guys are settling for Gardner Minshew over Officer Farva. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Gardner Minshew because he's awesome.
Stop transitioning me.
I don't care. I do what I want.
Stop transitioning me.
Bo Nix, but great.
Let's no, because he's not. But Bo Nix is going to go 6-11 this year. Okay, you could jot that down. Like you could save that. He will.
They automatically have 2 wins over the Raiders.
Sean Payton's not going anywhere, so Sean Payton can risk everything right now because he's on a multi-million-dollar 5-year contract or 7.
Sean Payton has his next Drew Brees.
Sean Payton has his next.
Yeah, I just said it.
No, he has his next.
Put my word on that. Westradamus. Next Drew Brees. The next Drew Brees.
Jeff Hostetler. But Jeff
the
Hostetler
next Drew Brees. He's not gonna be the best, but he's gonna take him to a Super Bowl, and he's gonna go down as a Hall of Famer.
Okay, shut up. The only reason Drew Brees was never the best is because he played in the same era as Peyton Manning, okay, Tom Brady, okay, Aaron Rodgers. These are the only reasons why Drew Brees was never the best.
Unfortunately, Bo Nix is gonna have to play in the era of Jordan Love.
No, he's gonna have to play
Patrick Mahomes.
And
Josh Allen.
Well, and then he has to play in the same area as Jayden Daniels, who I didn't like coming out of LSU.
Jayden Daniels is going to be electric.
But watching him play for Washington so far this season, I'm like, okay, Drake May stock down. I get Drake May's gone down in my book. I was really high on Drake May. Jayden Daniels.
I was never high on Drake May.
Well, Jayden Daniels has gone straight up, and I'll tell you why. I thought Drake May ran a pro-style offense very well. I thought he played in a place where you're not known for offense in North Carolina, and he generated offense. Jayden Daniels played with a super team. He wasn't great at Arizona State when everything was on his shoulders, but he was young, and I think I might be judging him more harshly than I judge Bo Nix because he has looked fantastic in the preseason. And I'm on board.
I told you that there's a reason why he won the Heisman, dummy.
Should we go over all the quarterbacks?
There's a reason why Drake May didn't win the freaking Heisman, okay? And besides, NFL is slowly moving away from this pro-style offense. Like, they're adding in a lot more options.
I think Chris Winkie won the Heisman, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so we're just going back to the 90s now? Cool, bro.
I think that's the 2000s. I think White won the Heisman trophy.
You're kind of getting off topic here.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
move it back onto the
mean
tracks.
Anything when it comes to performing on the field. It means nothing. Okay, so
but it counts for something. Okay, it means he got talent, and he's got lots of talent.
He's got some talent around him too in Washington, which is impressive. And he's got a good offensive line, decent offensive line, and a really solid running back in Brian Robinson back there. So I think he's pretty well protected. And I hate to say this about the Washington Commanders because, don't care for that team. But they should have stayed the Washington football team, but that's a story for another day.
They had moments last year where they looked pretty good.
I would love it.
They just couldn't put it all together, and I think one of those pieces was the quarterback. And now they got a quarterback.
You're just saying that because you're mad that the Seahawks signed Sam Howell. That's the only reason you're saying that. After last week's
don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on our starting quarterbacks, all right? There's not a lot there, okay?
So we obviously had some bad news for J.J. McCarthy last week. And now we've had bad news for Michael P. He's going to be on the bench the whole season behind Kirk Cousins. And he's already 30 years old. So it's going to be about to see how
That's like 26.
His career ends up. All right.
I think he's like 25. Okay.
So how do you think? So I'm. All right. So how do you think this plays out? Do you think Drake May replaces Jacoby Brissett at any point in the season?
So here's what I think. I think all of the rookie quarterbacks this year are gonna get a start at some point.
You think?
Yeah.
I think Michael Penix is going to get a start, and obviously J.J. McCarthy.
Jacoby Brissett is yeah. I mean, J.J. McCarthy obviously doesn't count.
I feel like you just called Jacoby Brissett like a barbecue food. You almost called him Jacoby Brisket, and now I'm terribly hungry. Like, what a name for a quarterback, by the way. Like, he would be a much better quarterback if his name was Jacoby Brisket than he is as Jacoby Brissett. So I'm glad you did that. However, never shit on the name of Jacoby Brisket ever again by confusing him with Jacoby Brissett. But go ahead.
That's all I'm going to call him now, Jacoby Brisket. God, I don't even remember what we were talking about. All right, rookie quarterbacks.
Drake May, you said he's going to replace Jacoby Brissett at some point.
I think he's going to get the ball like midway through the season. I don't know about Penix, but he will get a start or two.
Okay. You think Penix will get a start or two?
Probably near the end of the season. I think it all depends on how good the Falcons are, and I'm not confident they're going to be any good.
Now, do you think that Drake May is going to get a start because the Patriots are going to be so god awful under with this team and with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback that they're just going to be like, you know what, let's give Drake May a couple games here?
I think that's what's going to happen. Halfway through the season, they're going to pull the plug on the brisket experience.
All right, so let's keep Drake May in this mix then. We're going to eliminate J.J. McCarthy. We're going to eliminate Michael Penix. So let's start now. We've got Drake May going to start some games. We've got Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, Penix is going to suck. He's trash. Put him at the bottom. He's even worse than an injured J.J. McCarthy.
Are you saying that because he was the quarterback of your rival and he dominated Oregon last year to the extent
of course not.
Washington made the playoffs and they did not?
No.
No,
I would never be that biased. I would never be that biased.
All right, well, I'm glad we established that you would never be that biased. So right now we've got Drake May, we've got Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix all presuming to start some games this season. So who do you rank last among that group? Who's going to be number 4 in that group?
That's going to be Drake May.
You think?
Yep.
You think even though he gets the start, he's going to be number 4?
Yep.
Okay. Why though? I think is it because he has no talent around him? Because he really does. Why did the Patriots sign 16 tight ends under Bill Belichick? All right. So like they've got Hunter, they've got Jonnu Smith. Like, they just kept signing tight ends, and I'm like, what are they doing? Why did they sign every single tight end that was available?
You want to know why? Because Bill isn't there anymore, and I think he was the keys to the kingdom.
Maybe, and that was really stupid of them to sign that many tight ends under Bill Belichick. But I think the only reason I do agree with you, I think he is going to be 4th in this group, but I don't think he's going to be bad. I think it's going to be because he has no supporting cast in New England. I really think that team is SOL for the next 4 to 5 years.
I mean, you could just do tight end handoffs and wheel routes.
All right, so now the tough question. Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, or Bo Nix for who comes in 3rd as far as the rookie quarterbacks are concerned. You know, Caleb Williams, I think it's going to be Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is going to be really, really bad. I think Bo Nix lost weapons too this offseason. I don't know that they have a running back. I don't know that Williams is going to be as good as he was last year. I don't know that they have a running back in Denver. I know they don't have an offensive line. He's playing in a very tough division as far as defenses are concerned. They're going to be coming to get Bo Nix because they know he has terrible decision-making skills. So if he doesn't get
Vegas
that ball
has
out
a
of his hand,
soft baby poop defense.
no, Vegas has a great defensive front.
Softer than baby poop.
You better look it up again.
Softer than baby poop.
And they've got a top 10 player in the NFL on that defensive line. Max Crosby is on that defensive line.
Softer
So
than baby poop.
we'll see what their rookie pickup can do this year. But no, Las Vegas has a very, very, very solid defensive line. So maybe cornerbacks, I'll give you. The cornerbacks are weak in Las Vegas. But I want to see what they're able to do. Because the thing is, they started
Bo Nix is going
to
pick apart that secondary.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix isn't going to pick apart anybody this year, Wes. That's just not going to happen. Bo Nix is going to have a very rough year, and the only reason he's going to come out ahead of Drake May is going to be, one, he's going to have more starts under his belt, and two, he does have better coaching. And
how does it feel to know you're going to be in last place in your division? Because you're not going to beat Harbaugh, you're not going to beat Bo Nix, and you're not beating Mahomes.
We're not going to talk about Harbaugh either this episode.
You're definitely not beating Herbert.
But that's another one.
Man, I can't even wait, dude. I don't know how I didn't think of this earlier, but freaking Herbert and Nix in the same division. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for those games.
I don't know.
I'm going to wear a half Broncos, half Chargers jersey.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Tyree Wilson.
Yes, I am.
And Malcolm Kuntz are also on that defensive line in Las Vegas. So you don't know what you're watching. You're just following Oregon players in the NFL and Seattle Seahawks. All right. Now, for me, I think now second is gonna be Caleb Williams.
Bo Nix.
And it's only because he is a victim of circumstance. The Chicago Bears have surrounded him with so much talent that if he fails now, it is his fault. And what a letdown that would be if he fails. He can't fail, right?
No. I mean, there's no excuse right now. They've had first pick in the draft 2 years in a row.
Yeah. So they got what? Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze. They've got Khalil Herbert at running back. Like this, there
was a play. I think it was last week from Williams to Dunze, and it was filthy. But they're gonna be a really good combo. But yeah,
I think that
I agree with you there.
Yeah, that if he fails,
he's got weapons.
If he fails here, it's gonna look really, 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 really bad for him. So it sucks that we agree. We're shaky in the middle, you and I. We don't agree on 2 and 3 out of these starting rookie quarterbacks, but we agree on number one.
I put Bo Nix, which means that I'm not completely biased.
I think we also agree on number one there as far as as far as Jayden Daniels is concerned. And I just think, man, I was wrong about him at Arizona State.
Fastest kid ever.
About him being over. He's not the fastest ever. Wrong about being overrated at LSU.
So fast.
But you know what I don't think anyone's going to be wrong about? Replacing the United States flag football team with NFL players for the Olympics. Now, this made news this week, Wes, and I know you're just catching up on this story. I don't even remember his name. He's got some French name, the starting quarterback of the United States flag football team. But he said it's disrespectful to think that NFL players were just going to come into flag football and steal their jobs during the Olympics. And I phrase this to you. Who would you rather have? Somebody with a French name that's never made it in the NFL and couldn't make it in the NFL, or Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow as your or Lamar Jackson as your starting quarterback?
That's the dumbest question I've ever heard you ask.
Right? And that's the dumbest statement I've ever read. You really think we want your flag football receivers and not Tyreek Hill or DK Metcalf at wide receiver? Like, what are we doing here? You don't think we want Max Crosby and Khalil Mack on the edge, or Joey or Nick Bosa on the edge of flag? No, we want your guy, flag football professional.
They're just trying to protect their hobby. Yeah,
it's a turf war.
Yeah, it's a turf war, and they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose
with ultra dumb statements.
Imagine being like the flag football champs, and then you come up against a team of NFL All-Stars, and you're like, oh.
Man,
They're
you know what
like
that
just
reminds me of?
towering over you. They're bigger than you. It doesn't even matter. You know they're not going to hit you, but you know you're screwed.
Wes, I know you were a Halo kid. Like, I know. I remember. You were a big Halo kid.
Yeah.
But I was always a Madden guy, and there was this video game that came out called NFL Street. And it was one of the coolest video games that ever existed. And I along with college, you played it? You played NFL Street?
Yeah.
So that's what you just said reminded me of, is the trailer for NFL Street when like the random average Joes walk up and you've got all these great NFL players in like street gear running up the wall. Like LaDainian Tomlinson was in that game, and at the peak of his powers, you had like Andre Johnson in that game at the peak of his powers. Like all these amazing football players. Michael Vick might have been in that game. I can't remember. But like all these football players at the peaks of their powers in this video game, and you're supposed to take them on with just your crew? Like that's what this flag football controversy reminds me of. No, you're done. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to do anything. If the NFL wants your spot for the Olympic flag football team, you just bow out gracefully. All right?
Agreed. You don't have a choice. There's done.
Sauce Gardner locks down the #1 flag football.
The only way they don't get their jobs taken away is if the NFL cracks down and says, no, we don't want you playing because you might get injured. That's the only way.
That is literally it. That's the only thing stopping the NFL players from taking their jobs. Now, as we approach Saturday, Wes, we've got the inaugural kickoff of the college football season in Ireland. We talked about it a little bit, but are we sending Ireland a hit?
They don't care because the people who are going are football fans and they just want to see football.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it would have been cool if the Irish came or whatever. I mean, I think they did that last year. I think Notre Dame played there last year.
Yep.
But, dude, if I lived there, I don't know why you're not going, dude.
So it's Florida State and Georgia Tech, just so everybody knows.
Everybody
and I'm not
knows.
going because I don't care about either of those teams. Now, I think in pre-production, you and I were saying, oh, God, it's going to be a blow. It's going to be a blow. But towards the end of that conversation, I said, unless what? Georgia Tech takes the air out of the ball. And they love that triple option. They run the triple option like we're still in World War II. Okay? They love that triple option at Georgia Tech for no reason. You're going to tell me that no, you can't recruit any players to Georgia? Okay, right. You could get better players. Calvin Johnson played there. Okay? Like, you could get wide receivers. You can get great players at Georgia Tech. But if they take the air out of the ball, do you think we're going to appreciate that or hate that? I don't want to watch Georgia Tech.
I'm also skeptical, though, because they don't have Jordan Travis anymore. He's on the Jets.
Yeah, but they have DJ Uiagalelei, and he did really well for Oregon State. He made up for what happened at Clemson. What a debacle. I think Dabo Swinney might get let go here in the next 3 or 4 years because he refuses to dip into that transfer portal, and I think that's just stupid.
He's a dinosaur, and he refuses to change.
I think what's his quarterback's name?
We'll see.
Klubnik, right? That's a dumb name. Sorry for the family of Klubnik.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe Uiagalelei is coming for some ACC revenge.
I would draft Jacoby Brisket way before I draft Klubnik. I just would. All right, it sounds delicious. Now, the Premier League got kicked off, and it was such a blast to be in London for the kickoff of the Premier League season. And I got to watch Aston Villa, my squad, come out and win 2-1 in West Ham. And West Ham shouldn't even have had one goal. And I got to do that in London, where a majority of the fans in the pub we were at were West Ham fans. And I got to watch them all go home crying, Wes. And I gotta ask you, is there anything more satisfying? As long as no violence. We don't want any violence. But is there anything more satisfying than being in enemy territory and your team just crushes the other team and you get to watch it?
It's really the best feeling. Yeah. One of my favorite college football memories was Oregon went up to Husky Stadium before they renovated it, and it was the last game in Husky Stadium for 2 years because they were going to play at the Seahawks Stadium. Well, they basically demolished the old stadium, or like half of it, and we blew them out. It was amazing. and so everyone, all the Oregon fans were like waving their keys, and we were singing like na 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 hey, goodbye. And they were like, this is our house chance. It was great. And the Husky fans were just like quiet.
Taking it. Yeah. And it's in good fun though at the same time. Like it feels great, but you're not trying to start a fight with nobody. You're just trying to have a good time. Your team won. And that comes with it. You're gonna get a little bit of a razzing from the opposing fans, and you just gotta take it. And they won. They got you that day. And that's okay, but gosh, there's no better feeling. Except for maybe when Creed takes you higher. And I know I said we would talk about this, and we have to. Gardner Minshew's hype video, Wes. What are your thoughts on that?
It's pretty hype. I mean, he's a handsome-looking man, okay? I like his mullet. I like his mustache. I like the chest hair. He's the only reason why I tolerate the Raiders right now.
It's because you're in love with the quarterback.
I'm glad you guys are starting him over Officer Farva.
I am too, actually. And if anything, I mean, it's going to be fun. Like, I don't think the Raiders are going to be great. They're going to be better than the Broncos. I'm not under no impression they're going to be great. But it's going to be fun. Like, that's a fun quarterback back there. And you can't argue with me. That guy is fun to watch. And I love that he's on the team with Max Crosby, because Max Crosby, have you seen the video where Max Crosby keeps tackling him when we played the Colts last year? And every time he tackles him, he calls him little ass boy.
Little ass boy?
Yeah, he's like, stay down, little ass boy. And Gardner Minshew, they got Gardner Minshew on the film, NFL Films got him on the sideline, and he goes, why does he keep calling me little ass boy? Like, I get it, I'm little out here, but I'm big in other areas. Like, he's just a funny guy. And I would have loved to see, like, the first meeting when Gardner Minshew walks into the locker room and Max Crosby is there. And he's like, hey, could you stop calling me little ass boy, please?
Yeah. I'd love to see some behind the scenes with them, but we're not done yet. This is, after all, TheSadFan. And the Mariners make me sad. We just fired Scott Servais, thankfully, as general manager of the Mariners. Well, so here's the thing. Okay, back in middle of June, we were 10 games ahead in the division. And since then, we've gone 20-33, and we're now 5 games back of Houston. And so they finally got tired of it. They canned his ass. They've lost 8 of 9, okay? And most of those were against losing teams with a losing record. Pathetic. Mariners do this every year, but this is even worse because this was the best they've ever looked in 2 decades. And then this is the worst they've fallen off. It's like the more anticipation and excitement they give us, the bigger the drop. I'm so sick of it.
Luckily, it's a 1,000-game season in the MLB.
Fuck the Mariners. Tired of this crap.
I wish I knew that was coming so I could have bleeped you. But here we are now. And we've got to end it with Bleep the Mariners. All right. We look forward to having you each and every week, all 3 of you. I appreciate all 3 of you. Thank you for joining us. It is NFL time, so I think our viewership usually goes up during the NFL season. I get to go watch Wrexham against Peterborough, and I look forward to giving you guys the update to that game after next week's show. As always.
Can you get a signature from Ryan Reynolds? And Rob McElhenney.
I'm looking for Rob McElhenney. That's who I'm looking for. All right.
Please.
If Ryan Reynolds signs anything, it better say Deadpool.
I like it.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining us.